like to take a moment to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we're meeting today, the Wiradjuri people, and we pass our respects to their past, present, and emerging leaders. Thank you for that. Okay, so once again, Glenn Robertson, I'm the General Manager, not new. You would mean I'm shiny, I'm not shiny. That's my role. I have a couple of my team with me today. We have Tanisha Smith, who's our events coordinator. I've got Ree up the back, who's all about member engagement. And staring down the barrel of the camera, we have Chloe, who's from home. She's had a little medical thing, but she's fine. Did see her yesterday, but she's at home. Hello to those also looking in from home. Hello. I would like to make a special mention. We've got Meredith Wallace from Albury City Council. Welcome and thank you for coming along. We've also got from our board, we've got Simone Crichton here and Noel Milgate sitting right in front. There we go. We also have our sponsors who are all hiding on that little slide up there that are coming along. As always, we're not here without these guys, so have a quick run along there. If your organisation's not on there, see, it's about putting it on there because this is never full, and it takes a cast like this to actually keep us running along and running well. So if there's anything anyone wants to know about sponsorship, that's the end of the self-promoting advertising from us, I promise. It might have been later on, who knows. But these people here are especially important to us. I'm going to keep moving. We have our first speaker, so one of my favourite people, actually very good presenter. I've watched this another time. We have Felicity Warlow from Total HR in this morning. Are you right to go?
Absolutely.
You'd be right to go. Yours.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm glad you chose to have the Valentine's breakfast with us this morning. Clearly, I don't believe at all every day should be Valentine's Day. So, my name is Felicity Warlow, Senior HR Business Partner at Total HRM. For those who do not know us, we are a group of very professional, very talented HR generalists, but we all have our own specialities. I'm an all-rounder. I choose not to put myself into tiny little box. But we do have a great team that supports the work we do. So for those who don't know Total HRM, we do everything people related. We want to make your people business a little bit easier. Those tricky questions, especially around the IR changes, managing people, managing performance, investigations, you name it, we do it. One of the things we've been doing more recently, and especially for the members of ABC, is HR health checks. They're complimentary, they're free. We'll come into your business, we'll have a conversation around what you have in terms of your HR, and we can support you to improve things. With me today, before I skip along to the real reason why I'm in front of you today, I've got Thomas and Cheyenne who support us within our business. Fantastic. So IR changes, not very exciting, not very interesting. For those who've watched me present previously, it would have been a little bit more fun, a little bit more enjoyable, but this is the dry stuff, but it's the stuff we need to know and it's the stuff we need to get right. So why have the IR changes come about? One of the Labor government initiatives and promises during the election was around wage growth and also providing job security. That interesting graph there, which I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing what happens, has been tracking wages in the blue, inflation in the red, and hopefully when we come to our March budget and October budget, we're going to start to see changes in the wage growth. Over the last few years, what the government has realized was we haven't had that growth that we would have been expecting to see. Inflation is still going up, but wages aren't changing. So their commitment was to do something about the wage growth. So in December, the Act was put into place with quite a number of key objectives around that job security as well as gender equality. Modern awards have been already updated in line with those key dates. So when you go through and look at your awards, there has been some changes already put into place. Usually this will happen in November as well as in July. We're past that stage where you print all your agreements, stick them in a folder, and just access those. You actually need to be accessing them online in real time. Key things out of the key dates, I guess we are midway through February. We're going to see the abolition of the Australian Building and Construction Commission come into place. We have already seen the family violence, domestic leave come into play, especially for big businesses, which started on the 1st of February. For small businesses, this will come into effect on the 1st of August. This slide will come again at the end because there are quite a few key dates to keep in mind. So one of the major changes around that gender equality and equal pay is a review of how the diverse genders are being paid. Gone are the days of what I would have called the boys' club, where men got paid more than women. It's now more about looking at what is the job being done, what skills are required, and how are we going to remunerate those people. So in terms of the equal pay, what I would highly and strongly recommend is having your processes in place, looking at that position description, setting KPIs, looking at opportunities for bettering skills rather than just bettering pay. Highly recommend, if you're not doing it already, your performance review process is going to be key. It will also give you the real tangible data on where someone's salary will go up and where someone's salary is going to stay the same. Prohibition of pay secrecy is one that we're getting a lot of questions about within our client group, where people are asking the question, are we now entitled to go and ask individuals about their pay? Absolutely. Between employees in an organization, I could quite easily approach Thomas and ask him how much he is getting paid. We pretty much kind of do the same job, but kind of different. We might have different skills, but we do have that opportunity to have that discussion. Thomas can easily say to me, no, I do not wish to disclose, and that is okay. But employees can now have that discussion. So within your contracts, when you're doing your next contract review, take out that clause that says your pay is confidential, because now that is against the law. So if you are an employer and an employee approaches you to ask about your salary or someone else's salary, absolutely, you have the right to say no, I will not disclose that. But that pay secrecy doesn't exist anymore. There are expert panels being put into play, especially in the community services and
You got me on the spot.
I know, right?
And the education, the early education sectors as well.
Absolutely. Looking at, I guess, when everyone thinks of childcare educators, they're the least paid. They do the biggest job. I've got 2 kids and I say, God help you to anyone who looks after my kids. So why shouldn't they be paid to remunerate them at a higher level to reflect the difficult job that they do? They are educating our kids from a very young age. Very key, very important. So, key takeaway, when you review your contracts, pay secrecy, that confidentiality clause around pay needs to come out. Fixed term contracts is the next big one. So what the government is trying to work through the Fair Work Act changes is to ensure that there is more job security, taking away fixed term contracts where appropriate. There are quite a few exemptions for this one, which we'll go through in the next slide, but you can't offer a fixed term contract for greater than 2 years. So when you're doing the next fixed term contracts, keep in the back of your mind that that time might actually be counted towards the 2 years. What we're seeing more and more with our clients is the questions around, I guess, those exemptions. So I'm about to employ a trainee. they are doing a specific job or a specific project, or we have peak demand. When you think of the ski season, for example, we need people for a short period of time during the ski season. After that, the snow is gone, so there's no need for a snow lift operator. So absolutely part of the exemptions, just as long as you can demonstrate that need for the fixed term rather than offering an ongoing contract. And if you are like some of us in that high income threshold, earning $162,000 or more, you are also exempt. This is also in line with some of the remuneration scales around executive roles or senior roles. Absolutely, you don't need them in an ongoing capacity. We want to offer them a fixed term contract because there is a need for their skills and we can assess at the end. There is a new information sheet coming out, if not already, around fixed term information statements, which you will need to put in your employment packs as well. I'm trying to go as quickly as I can, I'm on a timer. Flexible work is the next one. So this particular one has interested a lot of our clients because they have been doing it. What has changed? So a key highlight is to include pregnant employees or employees that are experiencing family or someone in the household experiencing family domestic violence. There's new guidelines that we have to follow. Previously, if I had gone in and asked to work flexibly, we could just have a chit chat amongst emails, could be in a Teams chat, even my age, putting myself in that age bracket. But now there is a requirement to actually meet with the employee to listen to their reasons for wanting that flexible workplace arrangement in place, and also for you to give that response. The work can now arbitrate a dispute around flexible work arrangements as well, which didn't exist prior to this. So what do you need to do now? Review your policies and procedures, because I know quite a number of us would have had a procedure in place that would guide how we would have those discussions around flexible work arrangements. It's time to go and look at it again and include the new process. Family and domestic violence is probably one of the key changes in terms of the leave. This one came into place, as I said, on the 1st of Feb for most people, with small businesses coming into play on the 1st of August. What does this mean? It means that employees are now entitled to paid family and domestic violence leave of up to 10 days. They also still have the right to access the unpaid leave. Paid leave comes into effect now. It will renew on work anniversary every year, doesn't accumulate, and can be accessed by all staff, including casuals. So the next one, especially around discrimination, because the next slide continues on in that anti-discrimination tone, is an addition of the definition of breastfeeding, gender identity, and intersex to the anti-discrimination provisions. What we have seen happening in the last 2 months is our clients coming to us to ask to review their discrimination policies, just to ensure that they have at least a category or inadvertently put that clause or the terms in a different way. Individuals who experience discrimination in the workplace because of gender identity, intersex status, or breastfeeding now can pursue complaints through Fair Work, whereas previously that pathway didn't exist. The biggest change that we're going to see coming into play is around prohibiting sexual harassment in the workplace. We're moving away from actioning after something has already happened to being more preventative. What the Fair Work Act is pushing businesses, organizations to do is to have risk assessments done, have training and education for staff around sexual harassment, what it is, what it's not, how to respond. So it's the preventative side rather than the action side after something has happened. Action for now, to review those policies as well, implement a positive prevention plan, of which some of our clients have already started approaching us with some of the ideas that they have in mind about what they're going to do. Plenty of free training available as well through Fair Work. We've been going through all the resources and governing bodies to try and source some of that free training, and I'm more than happy to share that with the group today so that we do have access to that training. Some of it is actually quite interesting because intent is no longer an excuse. You might say something that might sound a little bit funny, but if the other person sees it as sexually harassed, it now falls within the actor's input. What we're seeing, we did an investigation with one of our clients not too long ago. This young worker thought it was a bit of a joke. They had no intention to cause harm. They didn't think it would affect anyone, but the person they did a particular act to didn't find it funny, made them feel quite unsafe in the workplace. So we have been actually helping them take disciplinary action. But then it begs the question, what are businesses doing and what can they do to prevent that from happening? And key for us is around that positive prevention and education for staff. So key takeaway, education, education, education. The more people know about the legislation, what your positive prevention plan is, the better they are equipped to make those unintended errors that will cost them quite a lot in terms of their relationship with their employer. Try not to go over time. Bring back this slide. So looking forward, June has quite a few changes coming up as well, which I think if you're not already doing, I would suggest you speak to someone who knows how to, or also reviewing those policies and procedures to make sure that you are sticking to those timelines and doing the reviews within a timely manner. Seek advice, I think it's the best way. There's a lot to cover. We ran a 1.5-hour session last week, and that wasn't even enough time. Where's 15 minutes? I'm like, just talk faster, faster. So reach out. We're more than happy to have a conversation. We're more than happy to start with an HR health check and identify those priority areas where you will get the most value. Sometimes it's the lower hanging fruit that we just need to go and pick, make sure all your policies are in place. Thank you very much to listening to my speed talk. Questions?
In regard to harassment and discrimination, I know years ago there used to be that sort of the guiding line that what would a reasonable person, what a reasonable person is determined as being harassment. Has that bar changed?
The bar has changed, I guess, in the positive prevention space. So the question then is, what have we done to educate even the not very reasonable person? Yeah. So guidelines will still exist. We found on Victorian.
The Victorian Human Rights Commission
Yeah.
website.
They have a really good guideline and a really good framework that is very easy to follow, that talks through there's about 6 or 8 steps in terms of how to prepare your positive prevention plan. And it actually comes in a little scale that goes, this is the preventative side and this is the action side. So it gives you really, really good step-by-step guidelines as well, plus the training from Fair Work, which is free. The videos are actually quite good. You know, sometimes when you watch those and you go, wow, that was a waste of like 20 minutes, but I'll never do that. Yeah, and this one actually goes through, I guess, the same same scenario, but from different perspectives. So it's a cafe setting, it's a young girl and her supervisor and another staff member working, and you actually get to see from those three different perspectives how people are viewing the engagement that's happening between this young girl and the supervisor. You also have options to select a pathway, so it's almost like choose your own adventure, but being educated in the same breath, so that if you choose, you know what, do nothing, let's pretend it didn't happen, it actually walks you through to the outcome, or report it, take action, and it takes you through a different outcome. And I think that's one of the best ones that we've done within our team around that positive prevention space.
It's more client to work in marketing, so what's the client to
Yeah, fantastic. We'll be here after the breakfast, more than happy to answer a few questions if you would like. But thank you for listening and thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you for listening. Typical total HR, isn't it? Perfect and polished,
Always.
even in the morning time. I think we've all got the same question right now, haven't we? What's your income?
Always again.
Just trying to get a gauge, that's all. Right, moving on. Next we have Kate Soden talking about skills and attention. Anyone with people, this is going to be your section. Yeah. Pleasure.
Morning, everyone. Thanks so much for having me today. It's lovely to be here, even in the morning time, which is my favourite. And we were marvelling at your sunrise this morning, shining on the hills around. It's so beautiful in the regions. I love being here. So I'm going to be quick. It's a really simple concept today to talk to you about. And we're all about work and stay. Very simple, does what it says on the box. Which is really about engaging with regional employers and wrapping around a solution of, if we're looking for employees or a workforce, a solution to get them to feel welcome and engaged in a community that they move into and stay and for the long term. So, which it's the skills that you need and a retention solution that I'm going to be talking about today. How have you all gone with your workforce? Anyone having challenges at all, or? Yeah, okay, great. And it's a mixed bag, you know, we partner with lots of different organisations with different skill sets, but yeah, it can be a bit of a challenge, especially I think everywhere across the board, whether you're in regions or metro, it's certainly a challenge. And we're really looking at things differently, I think, and how we can really come alongside businesses and organisations and work out how we can create solutions for people to really be able to generate a workforce for your business. So the first thing I need to tell you is that we're actually a social enterprise, which means that we reinvest our placement fees into the organisation to support a variety of social impact indicators. And we're registered with Social Traders, so we're a little bit different to a recruitment agency. And we're really about this equation, which is finding the right skill set for you, working with you on that, about who you need, putting this wraparound solution of community connectedness, where we invest into the community. In Albury, we're working already with Albury Council. We've connected into community to create a welcoming environment, actual people on the ground to welcome the 2 candidates that we have started with Albury Council in the next couple of weeks, to know who they are and to create connections for them in the community so that they, so we're really treating them as a whole person who has a whole life that happens outside of work, as well as they might have spouses, they might have just one spouse, that's not okay in Australia. And children, they can have many children. And what we found is that, in fact, that solution creates a great retention result. We're sitting at 100% retention for anyone in placement regions thus far. So just talking about our I suppose our engagement with you about the skills that you need, we really look at, you know, your whole solution. If you've been looking for someone with a particular set of skills and you haven't been able to find them, we really walk alongside you in terms of looking at transferable skills, to maybe, you know, a different makeup of a particular role that we know we're able to fill in a different way. So it's all about really creating alternate solutions as well. And we take that holistic approach to the person. So not only about whether they like cricket and Albury has a cricket team, it's actually about who they are as people and why they want to move into Albury and your team and your environment, and will they fit in. So it's really, we find that taking that time ahead of time really makes the difference in the placements that we make. And, you know, this is, you know, continuing on from that holistic approach. We also work with all different backgrounds. So, you know, whether you've lived in Australia all your life or it's somewhere that you've only just arrived, we do all sorts of support and connected in to really support cultural, spiritual, anything that's meaningful to that person. We really look at connecting them in to make sure that they feel well supported in the community. And so our retention solution, you know, is we've placed a number of candidates around New South Wales and into Victoria. This is Jessica and Paul Natum in Leeton. If you've seen the Backroads story on Leeton, but yeah, so we work with Ken Sakai in Leeton as well, and that's we know that that's a great safe place to place those of different cultural backgrounds. They can be very well supported, and Albury's the same actually, just beautiful, open, multicultural community. And we've really, what we do is we engage the different social groups, and we reinvest our placement fee by actually paying for a welcome service with a local member of the community as a consultant to be that welcoming person that meets the candidate and their family when they arrive, who understands the community themselves, because we can't possibly know every single community across Australia. We work pretty broadly across regional Australia. So we need people on the ground who know, you know, what cricket team's the best one to join, you know, what, you know, where the local mosque is, or what's important, where the Anglican church is. You know, I think that's so important. And it means that we're not being experts in every town, that we're really reinvesting in that community as well. Any questions so far at all? Or anyone having retention issues, hiring people that don't stay, that might have been coming from to move into Albury? Anyone looking outside the area to hire? No? Maybe. Yeah, so I mean, look, that's what we specialise in, is being able to broaden your candidate pool, and we are experts in at least, you know, really creating that that safe way for someone to become part of a new community, especially in this environment at the moment where, you know, candidates, it is a candidate market. It's really tricky to find and attract and retain good staff, and we have a really great solution that works, that's really creating a lot of social impact and workforce.
I think it might be good for the audience to hear what type of people you're looking for. I know we had this discussion on the phone, but maybe, oh, not who you're looking for, sorry, but the kind of industry you're looking at.
Yeah, so We have a very unique pool of candidates who have infrastructure resourcing skills, so engineering, all different types of engineering. We keep that pool because they are the employers that we engage most with in communities at the moment. Now that doesn't mean that we also we are recruiting for we just placed IT professionals and accounting. We just focus on either full-time salary positions or fixed-term contracts, which Felicity was talking about earlier. And so I'm not wanting to box in what we're able to provide to you because we have a unique way of connecting into communities that are in Metro who may be looking for a different and wonderful life in regional Australia. So we are able to access candidate pools that have a variety of expertise. But if it is infrastructure resourcing that you are looking for, we have them ready to go who really are interested in living in Albury or the surrounds. So come and chat to me afterwards if it's something that might be of interest. Any questions at all? Yeah.
I've just got a question around ways that employers can find out more about what government incentives are there to actually employ a foreign worker. So for example, there's certain visa conditions, I think, where certain people can be placed in regional areas for, but they must stay for up to 3 years. They might be able to move around to different employers within that time, but in terms of the retention factor, you know, you might have someone for 3 years as a minimum. So what sort of avenues can you recommend that employers can tap into to find out more about that?
About visa pathways? Yeah, so, yeah. I mean, the candidates we work with have full working rights, and there are a number of visas that mean that regional pathways are the motivation for them to move into region, as well as PR pathways. So they generally will make a commitment between 2 to 5 years, but that will in itself create that retention because they've become a part of the community. There are the 491 visas, and I mean the 491 visa is the main regional visa that creates that regional pathway, and they can be area based or it can be across region depending on what their visa allows. But we also have lots of collaborative relationships with programs across. We're really supportive of other programs or initiatives doing things differently to create a workflow or a workforce out into regions like the GROW program, or we have a partnership with Talent Beyond Boundaries where if we can't find onshore solutions, that they do the offshore solution to look for the particular skills that you need and to bring them in from the displaced refugees. So yeah, there are a number of different avenues that we're really happy to work with you and support you on based on what you need, because I think it's all really about the skills that you need that will be able to match that person, and as long as that is covered, we can support the rest of the solution. Great question. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. A couple of things. I'm just going to buy some time here while Tanisha does a technical changeover. A few things. Not knowing a lot about that, and now knowing a little bit about what we do. I like the approach. I think, and we have a lot of different members, and we got a lot of different needs as part of Chamber that people are always trying to solve it in one big hit. We need 3,000 more workers, therefore we need 3,000 homes. Council, can you just pull them out of the box and load them up, please, and everything's going to be fine. And clearly that's never going to happen, and that's a pipe dream. But the fact that we can talk about specific people on a people level that you know and fit them in the community and all those sorts of things is, I think that's actually how you solve the problem, is one person at a time and getting to know them. I know if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Feel free to use that
exactly.
language.
Thank you.
But that's what
You
we
can do
do.
my pitch next time.
No, I couldn't do it justice, but, so, which is a beautiful segue. Thomas, there is a secret WhatsApp chat going on. We've got your band in that team. So we're honing in on that. We're secretly right, which is a bit of an idea of what you do. So that probably just let you know, that sort of, if you won't tell us, we'll come to you. Good job. Okay, this was these enforced how important these things are. So we think we're in the zone. Let's see where we go. Okay, so next, you ever notice whenever you buy a red Ferrari, that when you go, well, whenever you buy a red Ferrari, whenever you go out in the street, all of a sudden all you see is red Ferraris because it's front of mind. Right, you might have your own example.
Thomas?
Well, I'm not too sure if Thomas is in that market.
I'm definitely not.
Well, we need to readjust our numbers.
Yes.
You like crosses, just don't call it on stuff.
Thomas, I got this morning being sort of, I just need to sit and listen today.
Yeah.
No, not on my watch. Yeah, whenever you buy a red Ferrari, everybody goes, says, so what we're going to be talking about next. No, I've got a bloody thing, I practiced it. That's not true. So what we're talking about next, and we're going to have Sandy Face, who's joining us live via satellite, about hidden disability sunflowers. This is one of those things that I didn't know what it was. I've known for weeks this event's coming up. I've had a look at it, and over the weekend I was actually down in Melbourne, dropping my #1 son to university, and I didn't cry, I didn't say learning what it was very difficult. Long story short is I saw this, and it's one of those things that was starting to become front of mind, which we had today coming up. And then I saw this and I was like, sort of, and I'm hoping in the next 15 minutes, all the little pieces of what this is about are going to all come together in my mind, because I've already had that little like, what is that about? What is that about? So I'm going to hand over to Sandy, but also I'd like to thank Meredith for championing this within our community. She's brought the box along, and so thank you very much for being our person. Very good. I'm going to hand over. We're good to go?
Yeah.
I'm going to go later.
Whenever you're ready. Your mic is just,
Good morning. Did you want to play the video or?
yeah, I can do the video first.
Oh, fabulous. Hi, everyone.
Sandy Face.
Can't see us.
And I'll just do the video.
Good morning, Aubrey. So sorry I couldn't join you all this morning. Greetings. My name is Sandy. I'm joining you from Melbourne, and I'm just going to quickly share my screen. There we go. Can everyone hear me? Hopefully, I'm just going to get started. And I'm also really aware that I'm actually on a big screen, which is super scary this early in the morning for people my age. My name's Sandy Facey. I'm joining you from the lands of the Barong people. I just wish to acknowledge that they are the traditional owners, and I would also like to pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and Aboriginal elders of the communities which you are also meeting today. So thank you so much for allowing me to join you. And also thank you to Aubrey Business Connect for the invitation. That's just fabulous. And a special shout out to our sunflower advocate, Meredith Wallace, for bringing along some tangible examples of what I'll be speaking about today. So without further ado, let's talk about the Hidden Disability Sunflower Initiative. Some of you may have heard of it before. Perhaps you have traveled internationally or even domestically and have seen a sunflower somewhere. I can most certainly say that if you have taken a flight out of your regional airport, Aubrey Fly Aubrey, you would have the lovely customer service team there with sunflower information, and we'll talk about that right now. I just need to shut this down. For some reason, I keep I can still see myself, which is scary. Okay, here we go. So let's start out with what is a hidden disability. It may not be immediately obvious. The statistic that probably stands out, it's quite confronting for me, is that in Australia, 1 in 5 Australians have some form of disability. But of that 1 in 5 statistic, approximately 80% or up to 80% can have a non-visible disability. Now, as a business owner, where this would be of concern to you is that you really want to enhance your customer experience. When they enter your venue, you want your staff to feel comfortable and in how to greet them, etc. So what was found in Gatwick Airport back in 2016 is that they truly wanted to be able to support passenger journey. So they found that there were many people that were in commercial spaces that really felt uncomfortable, or perhaps maybe even decided not to show up somewhere because they had a non-visible disability and they didn't feel comfortable conveying information to the public. A hidden disability may not be immediately obvious, can make life very demanding, can affect each person in different ways, and can also be painful, exhausting, and isolating. So you yourself may have a non-visible disability or a challenge, or perhaps you have someone in your life. So how did it all start? As I mentioned a bit earlier, the Gatwick Airport, the accessibility and inclusion team wanted to support and enhance passenger journeys. So to translate that to your customer experience when they enter your venue, whatever that might look like to you in Aubrey. So they wanted to enhance that. They felt quite comfortable that staff would know how to approach someone who perhaps has a mobility device, right? So if you look at someone and you go, right, they're in a wheelchair, or perhaps they have a seeing eye dog. There are, expectations around how to approach someone and ask how you can help. However, if there is someone with a non-visible disability and they choose not to share what they're struggling with that day, how do you actually help this person? So the sunflower was born out of that idea from Gatwick Accessibility Team. They wanted to be able to provide their passengers with a small tool, and I'll show you what that looks like, either in a lanyard or a pin, and you'll see the box at the front of the room that you feel free to go up and have a look at everything after the chat. And if you have any questions at the end of this overview, you can email me or we can chat. Okay, so the initiative rolled out from Gatwick Airport, and basically it's a really simple initiative. It involves supplying the sunflower symbol to your guests or your visitors. Your organization accesses 3 videos. They're only 12 minutes in entirety. So this is not disability training. This is a simple awareness around a communication tool where someone might enter your store, your shop, your venue, and be displaying a sunflower. And this is how you support that person. They do not have to disclose why they wear the sunflower, nor do you ever ask why someone would wear one. There's also another side of the coin as well, and that would be the fact that maybe someone chooses not to wear the sunflower. However, they're looking for a sunflower destination like yours, and they would come in and look to have the support without having to disclose to the general public why they need assistance. So it's very discreet. I guess that would be the best description of the communication tool. So the supporter icons, which I'll show you shortly, they're for people who are trained. And I'm wearing a little badge. I'm not quite sure if you can see me with a blurred background, but there's a little badge that I have on today, and it's an I support badge. So most of the staff that watch the training can wear that badge. I'll keep moving along, being really mindful of the time. Bailey House is the organization that I work for. We are a lovely not-for-profit located in Melbourne, been around for about 70 years, supporting 270 clients on a daily basis, doing creative activities to support their dreams and aspirations. They are adults with intellectual disability. And how we're connected with the Sunflower is we have the distribution rights here in Australia and in New Zealand. And they love to participate. As you can see with the pictures that are here on the screen, I'll just give you an opportunity to have a look at it. I won't read the slide for you, but yeah, the clients are very inspirational. So here's just a quick overview of what the training videos, awareness videos look like. You can, when you join the initiative, if you choose to do so, you have access to 3 videos. Those 3 videos can come to you, depending on the size of your business, can come to you on just a password protection, or alternatively, we do have them in SCORM file, which is, a little bit more technical term that can sit on your learning management system. Very simple. What is a hidden disability? What is the hidden disability Sunflower? What is a hidden disability and what should I do? Providing and empowering your employees and staff to have a better conversation. And these are the takeaways of the, as you can see, very powerful values, but quite simple. The takeaways from the training are: ask if you can help, be kind, listen closely, have patience, do not judge, and show respect. Here's some samples of, and you would have that at the front of the room, some samples of what the Sunflower collateral looks like. And this would be offered to your customers complimentary as a member of the initiative. And here are the items for your staff or the supporters. It could also be someone who enters your venue, and they may be a carer, and they may also be accompanying the person with the hidden disability. I would say approximately in here in Australia, approximately 70% of Sunflower wares are neurodiverse. However, the Sunflower represents hundreds and hundreds of non-visible disabilities, which I'll show you a quick clip before I close off here. Yay, I couldn't do this presentation without acknowledgement of the wonderful people at Albury Council, Albury City Council. I had a fabulous day. I've actually been in your beautiful town. Just had the best day. And of course, the Sunflower cupcakes were a huge draw. So what happens is after you watch the training and you feel that your staff is comfortable with becoming Sunflower friendly, you can actually have a launch, and we support that launch in a lot of different ways via social media, etc., knowing that it's global. And then I also want to show you a quick slide. I'm moving along here quickly. That here in Australia via Bailey House, we've moved beyond airports, and we do show our respects definitely to the aviation industry, but the hidden disabilities aren't just for passengers on, the Sunflower is not just for passengers on the airport. It's also found in many different sectors, and we have more than enough room on this slide. I can actually maybe make even a bigger slide and have room for your business if you're interested in joining. If you look at the inside of the little wheel here, it just shows that there are many different sectors that a person who may have a hidden disability may find themselves. So it's really important that as they journey throughout their day, they may just keep their Sunflower wristband in their pocket and may not feel they need support until whenever. It's not mine to dictate, it's their personal experience. So without further ado, I'm just really mindful of the time. I just want to share this quick video with you, and hopefully I've shared the sound properly. If not, maybe let me know.
Patience and time and caring.
To give them a bit more time to find words.
See it, take note of it, and just give that person a bit of patience and time and a bit of understanding.
To be understanding that I'm not right in some way.
patience and time.
So that's our team, myself, the general manager of Bailey House for marketing, and Warwick, who's the CEO, who's a wonderful person. He's been in the disability sector for over 25 years. And I couldn't be happier to represent this organization. And then last but not least, just what our intentions are. Thank you so much.